All right, so the New York Mets wrap up another game, another disappointing loss. First game of the weekend series against the Philadelphia Phillies, and they lose it 2-1. So this is now 3 games in a row that the New York Mets have lost off of these really close scores, 1-0, 2-1 kind of ball games. So I mean, it just tells you all you need to know. What's up, Jupiter, aka Mars Gaming? How's it going? I just find it really frustrating that the Mets are getting good pitching performances. You're getting good bullpen, all the things you feel like you need, and just no offense to go with it. And all these opportunities, it's not like, the Mets are getting no hit. Mets only get 1 hit, 2 hits. They're not getting guys on. Nothing like that. I mean, the Mets have runners in scoring position most of the innings, and they just can't get it done. They don't move the guy over. They don't get the big hit. Nothing. I mean, this is just horrible. Yes, Mothman, the offense is not good. Hey, the team does not look good. Brandon, what is up? Minecraft high. I mean, McCann, I try to defend McCann to you on Sunday, Z, but today I have no defense for James McCann. It's one thing if you're in a slump, if you're struggling offensively, whatever, that's one thing. But when that ball gets past McCann, whether the umpire was in the way or not, the way McCann was so lackadaisical when it came to finding the ball, that can't fly with me. That's just inexcusable because McCann's looking around. He's and then when he finds the ball, McCann was slowly jogging to it. McCann was not trying his best to go get that ball while the Phillies are busting their tails around, going around the bases and score 2 runs on a wild pitch. I mean, how does stuff like that happen? Where is the sense of urgency? This team is struggling right now. James McCann has been god-awful at the plate. At least you can show hustle when you're behind the plate. You can at least go run after the ball. He doesn't do that. And then on that ground ball to Alec Bowman in the 9th inning, how does McCann not beat that out? Is he that slow? You have to be Ramos type of slow to not beat out that play. And the Mets didn't even challenge it. That's how out he was. I mean, how can we say rock bottom in only April? That is not a good sign, guys. It can't be rock bottom when there's still so much to go. It could be worse. It could be worse. I mean, that's the sad part. I mean, what bothers me is that this team is struggling so much offensively right now, and we're going into May. Tomorrow is May, so this is a month of bad offense. And now, all of a sudden, snap of a finger, Mets start hitting again. I'm not sure about that. I mean, we hit the lowest we could hit. I don't know, man. What else we have? McCann's horrible pickup. I support the signing now. I don't anymore. I mean, what I will say is that first month in the James McCann signing does not look like a good move. I mean, no question about it. There's still 4 years to go. For better or worse, we'll see. But so far, not so good. And I agree, Silent. I've tried to I'm trying to be patient with Lindor. I just don't know what's up with him. His mechanics at the plate just don't look right. I mean, this guy, he's just over swinging. I think Chili Davis being fired it's a possibility. I think that you kind of saw the writing on the wall a little bit. Mesmerized was talking about it on Twitter, and just the way that Chili Davis was not Zach Scott's guy. The fact that Chili Davis does not embrace analytics. Zach Scott is Mr. Analytics. Steve Cohen is trying to implement this kind of analytics mindset. So I could see the Mets going for a new hitting coach. But I mean, do we think that all of a sudden a new hitting coach is just gonna I don't know, these guys know how to hit on base, runners on base now? It's just very strange because this is a talented team. It's not like these are a bunch of scrubs. I mean, these are guys like James McCann was an all-star in 2019. Lindor was a perennial all-star. McNeil all-star in 2019. Alonso all-star in 2019. These are good players, and these guys just don't get it done. And, yeah, that was the other thing. When McCann hit that double play, I mean, oh, my God, what a killer. What are you swinging at? The approach isn't good. Lindor, 3-0, high pitch, let me swing at it. Why? If you want to swing 3-0 because you're struggling, I'm good with that. But if you see the pitch is up, let it freaking go. I mean, if you're 3-0, you look down the middle. If it's not down the middle, let it go. And he swings. I don't get it, man. It's just so frustrating right now. I'm just trying to see what else I missed. I mean, yeah, I kind of wish Dom did give it to Alvarado because, the guy taunted you. Show some fight. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Dom hit a guy, but that's just not Dom's persona. That's not this team's persona. That's not the manager persona. These are nice guys. You hear all these guys, they all rave about Chili Davis. Here's what bothers me, guys. I just almost broke my camera. Last year when the Mets were struggling with runners on base, do you remember what the players' excuse was? One of the main excuses was, oh, we don't have Chili Davis. Oh, Chili Davis is away. Once we have Chili Davis back in the dugout, oh, we're going to be fine. Chili Davis is here now. They look just as bad as 2020, maybe even worse. So, like, what are the excuses at this point? The whole team can't be slumping, maybe outside of JD Davis. But, like, you cannot have the entire team slump all at the same time. Or what else we have? Chili's making the Harris look bad. We should have thrown punches. I mean, yeah, it just didn't look good. 2-all and ball 3 all the way inside. McCann grounds out. I mean, yeah, McCann is not swinging at good pitches. He is chasing. I really do not like it. I hate the Phillies started bench cleaner balls for no good reason, and we still lost. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like this team, I just don't feel like fight. Like, I just don't feel a lot of energy coming out of this team. I don't know why. I just don't get that feeling. I don't get it from the manager, obviously. It just doesn't look like it bothers them that much. I don't know. Like, again, when that ball got past McCann and the 2 runs scoring a wild pitch, there was just no sense of urgency. He's like, oh, my God, let me go get the ball. Let me throw these runners out. Like, I just didn't feel it. I wonder when Steve is going to snap and fire everyone. I mean, the fact that Cohen was tweeting a little bit during the game today saying that it was, frustrating, whatever, I'm paraphrasing, that I feel like that kind of tells you a little something. So I think Steve Cohen definitely is not thrilled right now. And, I mean, it's up to him to do something. I mean, does he fire Chili Davis? I mean, what else can they really do right now? Like, you can't really go out and sign a player. You can't go and make a trade. Like, these guys have got to figure it out. They're better than this. Lindor is better than this. McCann is better than this. They could do it. I mean, we've seen them do it their past couple of years, and now it's just like, what is going on right now? Yeah, that's the other thing. Good point, Jeff. The Phillies are missing so many guys. No Gene Segura, no Didi, no Real Muto, no Bryce Harper. I mean, like, it didn't even matter who was in the line for the Phillies or not. That was kind of pointless because the Mets just, like, they don't do anything. Like, look at the pitchers the Mets are facing. Chase Anderson, Garrett frickin' Richards past his prime, Nick Pivetta. These are guys that this lineup should beat. When you have DeGrom versus Nick Pivetta, when you have Marcus Stroman versus Chase Anderson, these are winning matchups. Those are games that you say, okay, we look at the pitching matchup. This is in favor, big time for the Mets. We should chalk this up as a win. You don't lose those games. They've lost 3 in a row right now. I mean, the pitching is what has this team at a decent record. If the pitching was as bad as I thought it was going to be, especially in the bullpen, Mets would be screwed right now. I mean, they're lucky that it's just like, oh my gosh. I know. I mean, I want to defend McCann, but today, like, I don't want to say like this is like, I'm done with McCann. It's still 1 month in, but today was like as bad a performance as McCann could have had. I mean, just defensively, offensively, like if you're not going to hit, that's one thing, but the fact that he has not been good defensively today, that really just drove me nuts. Yeah, I mean, it could be the approach. Like, I mean, we are seeing a lot of, like, guys are guessing. They're swinging at the wrong pitches, things just in bad. Like, they're in a certain count, and it just feels like they don't even have a plan at the plate. So a change in approach does need to happen. And I think that a good portion of this has to fall on Rojas because it's not like you're giving Rojas a bad team. This is a good team that should be winning. And whatever Rojas is saying or not saying in the clubhouse or whatever, it's not getting through. It's not resonating with these guys. So, I mean, like, there has to be something. Like, and what bothers me is that if you guys heard when Ross was on the radio the other day, he was saying that when there's runners on base, the team feels anxious. So, like, all of a sudden, this team is going to not become anxious tomorrow or Sunday or Wednesday. All of a sudden, these guys are going to lose their anxiety and start hitting with runners on base. Like, I don't understand it. Like, what happens when the Mets actually face good pitchers? Like, when we face the Dodgers, when we face the Padres, I mean, what is this Mets offense going to look like? If we can't do well against Chase Anderson and Garrett Richards and all these guys, I mean, what are we going to do when we face these upper echelon teams? I don't know. There's no expanded playoffs. I just don't feel good right now. A bad month of April. And the Mets are usually pretty good in April, bad month of April. So, I mean, they have got to get it going. They have to. I mean, yeah, Todd, it does look like McCann is more so an arm than a glove. I agree with that. And his arm's been pretty good. But, I mean, you need more than a good arm for 4 years, $40 million. I mean, no question about it. I mean, no doubt. And you're right, Mothman. Like, these guys don't have good ERAs that they're facing, and they just don't get it done. It really is frustrating. What else do you have? It seems like we swing at balls but not strikes. Exactly, Cole. That's what I'm talking about. Like, they just look lost. The whole team looks lost. Yeah, they were 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position. Exactly. And Jake Arrieta struggled against the Cubs. I mean, he struggled against the Reds, but against the Mets, Arrieta was lights out. I mean, they're making a lot of these pitchers, not look as good as they should. It's just really, really bad. So, I mean, how do they resolve this? You know what I mean? Like, how do these guys now just get it going? Now start to hit with runners in scoring position. Like, you can't have many more opportunities than they did. I mean, you went inning after inning after inning, runner scoring position, less than 2 outs, and you can't get it done. Like, you can't get a sacrifice fly. You can't get a ground out that actually scores a run, not a double play. So, I mean, this really is frustrating. I mean, and you look at the averages up and down the line. Lindor hitting under 200. Same goes for McNeil. Conforto never gets the big hit. I mean, ninth inning, it's a little pop-up. Dom Smith, he's been struggling a lot. I mean, he had the 1 RBI hit today, but, I mean, Kevin Pillar's been a nightmare. Jonathan Villar looked lost in his at-bat. Luis Guillorme is hurt now. So, I mean, I thought Guillorme is a guy that can kind of give some spark. Doesn't look like he's someone that gets anxious. He could go the other way. He could, get a productive at-bat. And with Guillorme on the IL and Jose Peraza is here, who still has not played a single game, not that he should, but the guy's just a waste of a roster spot, it just really is very frustrating. I mean, it really felt like the Mets definitely could have, if they fought, like, would that get the Mets going? Would that just get their spirits up? I mean, they just need something because, again, these guys, they're better than how they're playing right now. Like, they should not have these kind of averages. These are good players. So it has to be something mental. And the fact that Rojas said that these guys have anxiety, that tells you all you need to know. But isn't it Rojas's job to have these guys not be anxious, tell them to relax, get them some kind of approach, do something? I mean, like, they just don't. So, I mean, again, whatever Rojas is doing, like, the same thing happened last year. So, I mean, if you fire Rojas, do they learn how to hit? I mean, nobody knows. I mean, no matter what hitting coach you get, no matter what manager you get, you can't go in there and swing for the guys. I mean, it comes down to the players, but this really is frustrating. I mean, yeah, if this was the 86 Mets, I mean, we would have had a fight. I agree, Andrew. It's like the fans care more about the players. I agree. And you got a good point, John. Alonso, like, he hit a few home runs earlier in the season, but other than that, he's not doing too much. Or run scoring position, does Alonso get the big single? Not really. I mean, not usually. So, it really was unfortunate that the Phillies kind of show you up like that. That's not good. And, will the Mets actually show some fight? Will the Mets hit somebody tomorrow? I mean, will they really show the kind of energy that is required? Like Taijuan Walker, that's not a guy I'd want to mess with. So if Taijuan Walker wanted to hit a Rhys Hoskins or hit whoever, do you want to go to the mound and fight Taijuan Walker? I wouldn't. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But, Rojas, like, a guy taunting his player, that doesn't bother him. He's not going to show any fight. So, stuff like that, it really is frustrating. Yeah, and that was interesting, Michelle. The fact that Ron Darn said that Ron Darn said he would have went and got him. Like, I was surprised that Ron said that on the telecast. I was really, really surprised. But, of course, the Mets didn't. Why two? I seriously think these guys are like Aaron J. Coffey, still dead defeated. Yeah, you're right, and Bar, they do look that way. Like, they just don't show much energy in them. It doesn't. I just don't know. I just don't get a good vibe from them. I guess that's the way to word it. Like, I just don't get a positive aura around them. They just look kind of like, lifeless. Like, they're kind of just going through the motions. Oh, we stranded another runner. Oh, well, we'll just strand another one next inning. Like, when there were a few balls hit today, like I think it was J.D. Davis hit one off the wall. I was like, well, that's not a run. He needed the home run because if he didn't get the home run, they weren't going to drive him home. Like, you get leadoff doubles, and, like, I can't even get excited. I'm like, I'll believe it when the guy actually scores home plate. Like, it's gotten so embarrassing to this point. It's like, I mean, last year was historically bad with the running scoring position, but now it looks even worse. It really is just bad. All right, Mets fan, you could blame McCann all you want, but who in this lineup is doing well? You can put it all in McCann, but nobody's playing well, so you can't just blame him. Blame the whole team. I mean, what about your boy Alonso? What about all these other guys? What about your boy Dom? What about your boy Conforto? Everybody looks bad, so it's not just McCann. Everybody's playing bad right now. The whole team is struggling. I mean, we could have overpaid for Real Muto, but if Muto didn't want to come here, he didn't want to come. So, I mean, it really just is unfortunate, no doubt about it. The offense needs to step up because they won't be able to. Yeah, exactly. I mean, forget the playoffs. I mean, at this point, just get back over 500. Like, just start scoring some runs, and then we could see what happens. I mean, playoffs, they look impossible if the team continues to play like this. I mean, it's unfortunate, Ty, CH, that Matt, like, coaches don't have the effect like they do in basketball. Like you said, Tom Thibodeau, he instantly transformed the Knicks, completely changed their mindset, their mentality, the way they play. Tom Thibodeau made that kind of impact. You can't really do that in baseball. Like, you can't just have a coach all of a sudden comes in here and guys play well now. I mean, like, it boggles my mind that this team hit so well in 2019, the Alonso, the McNeil, whoever, with Mickey Callaway as the manager. Like, is Luis Rojas a worse manager than Mickey Callaway? Maybe not so much the tactical part of it, like, who to bring in for the, double switch, or what pitcher to bring in, or what lineup construction, but just the fact of how his team performs for him. I mean, is Rojas an upgrade for Mickey Callaway? I'm not even sure at this point, because the team sucked in 2020 and they suck right now. I mean, they are really, if it wasn't for the pitching, I mean, this team would have a god-awful record, because they have not hit at all this season. They've had like a couple games where we score 6 runs. Oh my God. But it doesn't mean anything if the next day you're scoring 1 run, 2 runs. I mean, they gave up, 3 runs, 4 runs in 3 games, and they haven't won a single one of them? That's crazy. I mean, you can't lose a game with DeGrom 1-0. You just can't freaking do it. And they do it all the time. Like, this isn't just a couple times. This is constant. This is years in the making with crap like what happens with DeGrom. It's just so annoying. It really just boggles my mind. What else? I saw Hayden. What's up, Hayden? You have no idea how triggered I was. I went off big time. You should have recorded, Hayden. I could have used the I don't even know what the word is right now. I'm just so annoyed. We need to wake up. No doubt. Jerry Manuel was 18 games over once Ramp got fired at below. Yeah, I mean, Jerry Manuel, he got the team fired up. They started winning, but then they started losing for Jerry Manuel, and then he was gone, and Terry Collins came in. So, like, that was a short-term fix, and didn't get the Mets into the playoffs. So, I mean, that's true when Willie left. But, I mean, who do you bring in at this point? Like, do you bring in a Beltran? Like, Beltran could be even worse. He's never managed anything. So I don't even know if Carlos Beltran is the answer. So I don't know what they're going to do. They do need somebody that, like, does have a little more fight, that is not afraid to bench a guy. Is just not afraid to really make that big-time move. But we'll see. Ross essentially a lame duck, second choice stand. I mean, yeah, and the thing is that, like, Rojas was not picked by this owner. He was not picked by this GM, this CEO in Sandy Alderson. Like, this was not their guy. This was Jared Poor's guy. This wasn't Zach Scott's guy. So, I mean, you could go the Buck Showalter route, but, like, would Buck all of a sudden get this team hitting? You don't know until you try, I guess. But, I mean, Buck Showalter, he's a guy that he doesn't really win World Series, and he makes bad decisions. So I don't even know. The thing is, E. Gonzalez, that I said it in the group chat to Mets Weekly. I said I would have benched Lindor and played Guillorme or somebody. I mean, Guillorme's hurt now, just to send a message. But they're not going to bench Lindor. I mean, it just isn't going to happen, unfortunately, because players have all the power now. The way sports are now, it has changed. I mean, I want Joe Girardi back too, but I mean, he's with Philadelphia, so we can't get him. We really should have got Girardi when we had the chance, but of course, the Wilpons didn't want to do that. I mean, I wish we got Mookie Betts instead of Francisco Lindor, but, we got Steve Cohen a little too late. It really is unfortunate. You wonder what Lindor's thinking, Cole. You know what he's thinking? I got $341 million. I do good, great. I do bad, still get $341 million. And Garner Alfonso, that's an interesting one, Andrew. I don't hate that. I mean, I don't hate that. That's an interesting one. I don't know if he's interested, but he wouldn't be bad. You don't send a message to Lindor. Not so much a message to Lindor, a message to the team that, like, you remember when Terry Collins had that whole rant, if you hit, you play? I feel like they have to do something like that. Like, they just got to try something to get a spark out of this team. Having your guy bat 8th or having your, Kevin Pillar bat 9th, that doesn't really do much for you. Like, you have to set a message. And I mean, they're not going to do it. So it's pointless even bringing it up. But I just want to see something different, because what they're doing is clearly not working. And I just don't. And the fact that these guys have anxiety with runners in scoring position, how are they all of a sudden just going to figure that out magically, just overnight, boom, magic wand? Oh, our anxiety is gone. You know what I mean? Like, if the Mets had one good game where they got in most of the guys in scoring position, they got them home, with the anxiety all of a sudden be cured, and now they don't struggle as much. Like, I just don't see the fix here, the long-term fix. Alfonso was the Cyclones manager, won the penalty toss, so maybe a guy could bring in short term. Maybe can't send a message to a guy that's being paid $341 million. I mean, well, what are you gonna do then? What is the answer, guys? Like, what would be your answer to getting this lineup to start hitting? I mean, what is the move? Because, I mean, what else can you do? Do you fire the head coach? Do you fire the manager? Do you, I don't know, bench Lindor? I mean, what do you do? Like, You can't just say, okay, just, hopefully we figure it out tomorrow. Like, that doesn't sit well. These guys, it's something mental. They have got to do something different to break out of it. I don't know. Put on the black jerseys. Do something different because it's mental. These guys, it's not like we have a bunch of scrubs. It's not like we need to go out and get new players. These are good players. I mean, you got to do something. You got Darren Stoppers talking, come see his team. They have to fire Chile first. I mean, I feel like he's probably going to be the scapegoat, like you cancel the franchise. I mean, yeah. I mean, what do? You cancel the season? Like, I mean, come on now. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't want to overreact too much, but I don't want to trade anyone. This team is fine. Like, these are good players. Figure it out. I mean, what are we going to do now? I just don't get it. We want to trade everybody and go get Chris Bryant. Want to trade everybody and go get Matt Chapman or Byron Buxton or, Eugenio Suarez. I mean, that's not going to fix nothing. That's not going to do anything for you. I mean, oh my gosh. It is just so frustrating right now. Again, I just don't see how I'm looking long term here. I just don't see how they just figure it out. I don't. I mean, it just is so aggravating right now. It really, really is. I mean, and the fact that it's the whole team, it's not like, only Conforto struggling, only, Dom Smith is struggling. The whole lineup is struggling. It's crazy. I mean, no matter who gets on, the other guy's not driving him in. So, I mean, stuff like that is just so annoying. They need a 2015 Royals type not home run, just get on base. And the thing is, though, like, John, they do get on base. That's what's annoying. Like, they'll out-hit teams. They'll get on base, and then they don't drive them in. It's not – getting on base is not the problem. They get on base. They just don't drive them in for whatever reason. My ideal lineup, I don't even know anymore at this point. Like, they're all struggling. Like, if everybody was playing the way they should, not over 300 – just the way they normally should. The way I would have constructed would have been Nimmo, then I go McNeil, then I go Lindor, then Alonso, then Dom, then Conforto. I'm sorry, then JD, then Conforto, then I guess McCann. But I don't even know right now. What would be your serious Lindor numbers projections? At this point, I'm thinking like 275 average, 27 home runs. Because at this rate, he needs to go off to have a decent season. I mean, right now, he's at a 189 average with 1 home run. So, I mean, that was his first month. He needs to have a ridiculous month to really get it going. I mean, it really is just so annoying. And we still have him for 11 more years. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, like, do you bunt? I mean, like, what? You got to do something. I mean, anything. And then when they try to steal bases, these guys just get thrown out. The other night, Pilar gets thrown out trying to go to second. McCann gets hosed trying to go to second like a dummy. Now, I mean, McCann, I can't believe how slow this guy is. I was like, you know what, Ramos, nobody could be as slow as Ramos. McCann is not fast. And the other problem, too, is that the fact that McCann bats 8th, how do you even bunt that guy over? Like, you can't even bunt McCann over. That's how slow he is. So that's the problem when you bat the catcher 8th. I mean, do you want to bat JD 8th? He's your best hitter right now. You're going to bat Conforto 8th? I mean, McNeil, Dom, what do you do here? I mean, I don't like the pitcher batting 8th. They've done it a little bit. Do you start Tomas Nido tomorrow? I mean, like, I don't know. You got to do something. Call up Beatty or Vientos. That's not a bad idea, Andrew. I mean, like, just you're right. Just get the energy in, and maybe those young guys could just give you a spark. And that's one of the things I was hoping Lindor could really do. Like, stats or not, like, I just hope that Lindor is such a charismatic personality, a guy that brings so much energy that even if he's struggling, he would get these other guys going. He would improve these other guys just mentality-wise, not stress, be the leader, be the veteran, get these guys out of it. I thought Lindor was going to bring that kind of impact. It's not working because he needs to lead by example because Lindor is struggling and they're all struggling. So it really is just, oh my gosh. You just have to look forward to the month of May. I think what Alvarado and Hoskins did will fire up this team tomorrow. I guarantee it, man. I mean, I really hope so, Elijah. They've got to get going. I mean, like, tomorrow is one thing. You focus on tomorrow, but it has to be consistent. Like, if the Mets score 7 runs tomorrow, just as an example, we can't just automatically say, okay, the offense is fixed. Because if they score 2 runs on Sunday, it's kind of like pointless. I mean, they are one of the worst teams in just scoring in general. And when it comes to the better the score opportunity is, whether it's you get the guy at second, you get the guy at third, it's like the worst they get, which is not how baseball is supposed to be. It's supposed to be easier, not harder. Like the pressure is on the pitcher. When you have all these guys in scoring position, the pressure is on the pitcher. And the Mets, they just get out of the element. Like, they get out of what got them on base, getting in that good count and just not doing anything crazy. So it really is just so frustrating. Praz Lindor played in a city of, maybe. I was hoping that Lindor could handle the New York pressure. But, what's so annoying is that when Lindor was hitting all those home runs at spring training, it's like almost every game is just knocking out a home run. The whole timeline was, extend Lindor. And, of course, I was leading the way. Extend Lindor. Everybody was saying it. Now Lindor struggling. Oh, we overpaid. Oh, we shouldn't have given him the money. Oh, we shouldn't have given him the money. It's just like, what the heck? You can't win. You don't extend Lindor. Oh, typical Mets. Trade away him as. Not going to extend Lindor. Then you extend Lindor. Oh, you did it too early. What the heck is going on here? Need a full team meeting and shake up the room? Is Rojas going to throw a chair? Is he going to throw a table in a team meeting? Is he really going to, make something happen? No, he's probably like, oh, well, guys, stay in the approach. Get back tomorrow. It doesn't go with this team. The Mets, I don't care how much the guys like Chili Davis. I don't care how well they get along with Luis Rojas. It isn't freaking working. The manager is not supposed to be the player's best friend. He's supposed to get this freaking team to win, and it's not happening. It is not. Lindor said, spend less time worrying about the restaurant. Yeah, enough with the chicken parms and get with the hits. Oh, my gosh. That's true. Tomorrow's a new day, new month. You got to put April behind you. Like I said, historically, the Mets have done well in April, so maybe since they had the bad April, maybe they could have a good June this time around, and that could kind of change things. You just got to hope for the best, because it's frustrating, because, the pitching is great, right? The bullpen is great. If I told you guys in the beginning of the season, in spring training or whatever, the offseason, Jeurys Familia is going to have a 1.35 ERA and this team is going to suck, I would have been like, what in the world? You know what I mean? Familia's pitching really, he had a tough outing, but he got out of it, All in all, the bullpen has been great. That was my concern. I said lineup is going to be good. Rotation will be pretty good. But it's like, oh, we know